Let's talk about the path of the awakening, right? When you have been called and you feel the calling is real and you're being initiated, there comes a moment that your life just starts to fall apart. Like everything that felt familiar will fall away. The people that you thought would remain forever, they become distant. And the doors that you expected to open, they suddenly close, right? So all the plans that you carefully constructed begin to collapse right in front of you. And because you cannot yet see what's being created, you assume that something's going wrong, right? But listen carefully. Your life is not falling apart. Every illusion that you've thought before in the past, that's what's breaking apart. So you're not being punished, you're being initiated. And every true transformation requires the death of an identity that has completed its purpose. So the death of an identity means the old self can no longer move on to the newer self, per se, or the higher self, because that part of you already passed and it served its purpose. So you must release the version of yourself that survived before you can embody the person that's capable of carrying you through the future. And this is what we call in alchemy growth, because sometimes growth it seems like isolation. The universe becomes quiet, so you can suddenly hear the voice beneath the noise. And it removes distractions, it exposes attachments, it reveals which relationships were connected to purpose or without purpose, and which were only connected to you through your old identity. So do not chase whatever it is that's falling apart. Do not beg the old self that has expired into your new season, because something else is being removed because they can no longer accompany you into the new frequency that you're asking or acquiring. So the emptiness or the isolation that you might feel, it isn't evidence that you have been abandoned. It is just the future space that's being created for your new self, through the discipline, through your relationships, through the empowerment. But first, you must stop trying to resurrect the old person that you were, because you need to transcend the self and stand inside the uncertainty of the old world that it will dissolve in front of you. And just understand that there's a higher intelligence working beyond your eyes that can see what you cannot see. However, you must understand to understand so that you can believe that everything that's happening is for your own freedom. So nothing is going to be destroyed. You will understand that everything was reconstructed. And so the darkness that you feared was not the end of your path. It was actually the wound which you were coming out of. And so the old world will collapse. Then the false identity will burn. So let every version of the old self, the fear, the approvals, the survival, let it go. Let it die out. Because you were never meant to crawl back into the life that was broken. You were meant to rise from the unrecognizable self that it's not your ending. This is your awakening. And when darkness finally releases you, you do not return as the person who entered it. You return as the force that it could not be destroyed.